on number 1, actually on this whole worksheet, they want us to write the equation in slope-intercept form. If they ask you to write an equation in slope-intercept form, you need 2 things. You need the m and you need the b. That's the only way. I mean, it's called slope-intercept form because you need the m, the slope, and you need the intercept, the b, the y-intercept value. So anyway, on number 1, it's kind of ridiculous because on number 1, they give you a coordinate, right? And they give you a slope. So they would like you to do this. They would like you to write down your slope-intercept form equation and plug in your x value of 4, your m value of -3, and your x value of -1, and solve for b. They would like you to do that. So when you do the math, -3 times -1, that's +3. And when you subtract 3 on both sides, you're going to end up with b equals 1, right? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we just found b. But what does b mean? What is b? The y-intercept. So why the heck would we go through all this math to just look at the line and say, oh, it crosses at 1, right? Oh. So when they give you the graph, all you got to do is go back to the original concept. I need an m and a b. So if I know my m, let me count it from here to here. Oh, I go down 1, 2, 3 over 1. That's -3 over 1, which is just -3. Wait a minute, they already gave that to you. That was unnecessary. But the b value, what's the b value? It's where it crosses the y-axis, and that happens to be 1. So you didn't have to do any math when they give you the line. What's the equation going to be? It's going to be y equals -3x plus 1. So on number 2, it'd be ridiculous to do all that math. I mean, maybe if you're bored, right? You're totally bored, you have nothing to do, go ahead, right? Plug in x, y, plug in your m, plug it all into y equals mx plus b. But just by looking at it, you could find your slope. What is your slope, guys?
-3.
Oh, okay, well actually, the slope is 1, the b value is -3.
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, m is 1, the b value is -3. So just with those 2 things, you could write your equation already. Your equation is?
Y equals 1x plus, minus -3.
Okay, so you could say y equals 1x plus -3, or you could say y equals x minus 3. Either of those are perfectly fine. I think on the multiple choice, on the final, they're going to write it like that, y equals x minus 3. So 1, 2, and 3, as a matter of fact, any of these that have a graph, you really don't have to do any math. You just have to recognize that you need an m and a b. So for example, number 10, you need an m, you need a b. Could you look at that and find the m? Yes. Just by counting. They give you that point. I mean, you could use this one and this one. If you do go from here down to here, you're going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your slope is down 5 over 5, which reduces down to -1. Or you could say, oh, it's down 1 over 1, which is -1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. Bottom line is your slope is -1. What's your b value? Where does it cross the y-axis? Positive 1, right here. That's where it crosses. So if you know your m and your b, you know your equation, y equals -1x plus 1, or just -x plus 1. That's your answer for number 10. Anytime they give you a graph, you don't have to do any math. You just find the slope by counting rise over run, and find the b value by locating where it crosses your x-axis. Now there are more fun questions, kind of like these guys down here, right? Like number 4, more fun. Because again, you still need the 2 things. You need slope and you need the y-intercept, and you could clearly see that your slope is 4, there it is. But they give you an x and a y, they don't give you a b. So in order to find b, what we're going to do is use y equals mx plus b equation and plug in what we know to find out what we don't know. This y, the y value of 9 is going to go right here. The x value of 1 is going to go over here, and the m value of 4 is going to go right here. So let's all plug it in. We're going to have 9 equals 4 times x plus b, and x is 1, so you have 9 equals 4 plus b. And to solve that, you subtract 4, so you have b equals 5. So now that you know your b is 5 and your m is 4, now you can write your equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals what?
4x plus 5.
There you go. Let me do one more real quick. Let's jump to number 8. Jump into this one, where you have y equals mx plus b. You know that your m value is 2, so you're going to put a 2 where the m's at. You know that your x value is negative 3. The equal sign's right here. The y value is negative 2. The b value, we're going to find out what that is right now by plugging everything in. Negative 2 equals negative 6 plus b. Let's solve it. So we're going to go plus 6, 4 equals b. So the two things that we needed, which I probably should have written down originally, m, they gave it to us, was 2, and b, we found out was 4. So the slope-intercept form equation, y equals 2x plus 4. Now, the hardest type of question is when they don't give you an m or they don't give you a b. Kind of like these questions down here. Let's try 13. They give you 2 points. You're going to have to use a slope formula. Now, the reason why I say that is because the two things that you need are your slope and your y-intercept. That's what you need, and they don't give you either one of them, but they do give you 2 points, and with the 2 points, you could find your slope using the slope formula. So there's the slope formula. Then you have to label your coordinates, x, y, first point, second point. And when you plug in, I recommend doing the division and the subtractions first, and then plugging in your top left y2 value, which is negative 5, top right y1, which is 3, x2 is negative 3, x1 is 1. And when you simplify this thing, your m is going to be negative 8 over negative 4. And negative 8 divided by negative 4, that's really a positive 2. So your m value is 2. We have half of what we need so far. We still need the b value. The b value is obviously the y-intercept value. So to find the b value, we're going to I want to go with the first point. Now, you could use either this first point or the second point, as long as you pick one. In other words, you can't use this y and this x. That's incorrect. You either use the first point or the second point to plug it into y equals mx plus b. So let me plug it all into y equals mx plus b. I'm going to plug in the m that I just found, which was 2. I'm going to plug it in right here. So there's going to be a 2 right there. And I need an x to go right here and a y to go on this side of the equal sign. And I want to get that from x1, y1. If you wanted to, you could use x2, y2, but I want to go with x1, y1. So my y value of 3 is right here. So I'm going to plug it in. There's 3. There's the equal sign. The m is 2. Now the x value is 1. Again, I got the 1 for the x. I put it right there for x. I got the 3 for the y and put it in right there for y. And I still need the plus b. So that's what I'm going to write, plus b. And now we have an equation that we could actually solve. So to solve this equation, we keep working. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus b, we have the equal, we have the 3. We're going to subtract 2. B equals 1. So our b value is 1. Our m value was 2. And now we could finally write our slope-intercept form equation. Y equals 2x plus 1. Now let me do one more because number 16 down here is, wait a minute. Did you guys get enough time to copy that down? Yeah?
No.
Well, you could always watch it at home and pause it and copy it later. Okay. 16. I like this one because if you understand what things truly are, you'll save yourself a lot of time. Like, what are the two things we need? M and B. Do they give you M?
No.
No, they don't. But you could find it, right? How could you find it? With the slope formula. So there's your slope formula. And of course, you're going to label it X, Y, X, Y, first point, second point. Now, when I plug in my values, I'm going to plug it in by doing the division and the subtractions. First, symbols first, and then plugging in our actual values. Y2 is 6, Y1 is 4, X2 is 0, X1 is negative 2. Change it to plus plus. So your M value really is 2 over 2, which is really 1, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. So M equals 1. Now you still need your B value. So what could you do? You could plug it all into Y equals MX plus B. Now what do I mean by that? I could plug in my X value of negative 2 right into this X value. I could take the 4 and plug it right into this Y. And I could take the M that I just found, which is 1, and plug it right into here. And then I could solve for B to find my y-intercept value, correct? Now think about this though, before we actually do that. Look at this coordinate, 0, 6. Visualize that coordinate. Where is it at? Where's 0, 6 at? It's on the y-axis itself, right? Check it out. If you think about the coordinate 0, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that means that this is the B value. So they are giving you the B value of 6. So you don't even have to do the second part of it, right? I mean, you could if you wanted to. If you're bored, you could still plug in all those values and solve for B and you will get 6. But if you think about what the coordinate 0, 6 is, it's actually the y-intercept value. So the final equation is y equals 1x plus 6. Y equals 1x plus 6. I'm going to stop right there. You guys have the answers on the back of your worksheet so you can check yourselves. Good luck.